You are about to listen to a Jason Burgos exclusive interview. How did it all come together? I mean, did your management contact them? Did David Feldman's people contact you? Like, how did? Because it was a surprise when I saw the announcement.
Yeah, no, a lot of people, honestly. Like, there's a few people who wrote to me on Instagram, social media. My manager, I mentioned it to my manager. My manager said, yeah, you can do it. Feldman reached out to me. And then I think I was in Vegas for International Fight Week, and I was waiting at Will Call to get my tickets, and I seen Crazy Bob Cook. And he was, hey, I was just talking, he was talking to Feldman, and he was just like, are you interested in that bare knuckle boxing? And I was just like, as a matter of fact, I am, dude. Like, I've been trying to get a hold of these guys for like the last month and a half, but I think dead ends, and then shit, like within 2 weeks, it matured into something, and my management, and they came to an agreement, and here we go, August 25th.
I mean, you have long been known as a fighter who has very good ground game, although you have, you finished guys with strikes quite a few times in your career. Do you feel this will show that hand striking part of your game people may underestimate and overlook?
It's gonna have to. That's all I can do is throw hands, If I get hit hard and I shoot a takedown, he hit me really good. You know what I mean? Hit me back into MMA. But no, you know what? Yeah, I guess. But I felt I've always, wasn't just a grappler. That was my strongest attribute to my game. Just because I utilize it with my height and my length, where I could capitalize on the ground with strikes or submissions. And I let a misconception of grappling with me, So, but I've always liked to swing hands, it always interests me. And then for the last 7 years, I've been really into boxing, watching old fights, and just trying to get better at it. And so that's why I kind of was interested in Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships, just because, yeah, you gotta think it's just like with 4-ounce gloves, but now you're just not protecting your knuckles. So it's the same thing, but I feel I have an advantage. I have a long reach. I have a decent jab, and I have a scrappy and never back down attitude when it comes to fighting. I love to fight in the pocket, which a lot of people say that I'm stupid because I'm so tall, but it's just so fun, So, like I said, it's gonna be interesting. We'll see. We're gonna find out. I've never done this before, besides in high school, in the streets, but but we're gonna, yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, throwing hands and fighting in the streets. Do you have any interesting personal stories from your youth and your career, anything where you had to dabble in some bare knuckle fighting that wasn't for pay?
Nah, I usually just take guys down and try and of them, but with a few strikes here and there. But nah, I like to keep down the rounds. What is that?
Were you at all surprised with the release from Bellator? Or you lost a few fights, so you kind of might have thought it might have been coming?
I don't know. No hard feelings. It's a business, I felt I lost. Yeah. But that was a close fight. I lost, but yeah, I don't know. It kind of confused me, but it is what it is, no use crying over spilled milk. Just pouring up the glass.
Were you close to signing with any other MMA organizations? Did any other MMA organizations contact you before the BKFC deal came together?
No, I actually, The LFA, I was talking with LFA. I was talking with a few. This is before I hired Dave Thomas to manage me. And I was kind of talking with a bunch of other smaller organizations in Canada and stuff. But I told myself I'm gonna take a break from MMA for the year. You know, give myself a year to break and kind of be with my kids. You know, like be a dad, family man, get more involved. And yeah, I kind of got bored, and the planets aligned, and this opportunity popped up real quick, and I just took it.
I mean, speaking of you bringing up your family, what are your friends, family, supporters? What are their opinions of you getting into bare knuckle fighting?
They think it's cool. It's new. A lot of my older family, like my mom, my aunties, they all think I'm crazy. My uncles think it's cool.
Mm.
You know, kind of scared, but as I explained to them, it's just fighting. It's the same rules. It's not like they can elbow, punch, kick, take me down. It's just boxing with no gloves. Mm-hmm. Simple. And as I explained to them, they get a little bit more, all right, cool.
I interviewed David Feldman a couple months ago, and I actually talked to Chris Lytle, who's coming out of combat sports retirement to be on that same card, and he was making the point that it's less brutal and less harmful on the body and the face because it's mostly guys are much more careful because there is a greater chance to hurt their hands if they're not cautious and smart with their punches. That it's more on a surface level, the cuts and stuff like that, but it's not as brutal on the brain trauma. I mean, so is there any worries? Because you've had a lot of fights. You've had 41 fights. Are you worried about things like CTE later in the career, or you're just doing your thing and it's not a concern yet?
I'm doing my thing. But yeah, going back to the fight, how you said, yeah, you definitely got to worry now because you have no protection on your knuckles. You punch wrong, and you hit the wrong part of the head, you're going to hurt your hand, and you don't want to hurt your hand in the first round, and there goes your hand, your left or your right, and then, so you got to be more thinking and picking your punches correctly. So you're definitely going into the fight with a different mentality as to just bombs away. You got to kind of pick your punches, target, and be smarter. And then second part of that question with the CTE, I probably got it already. Most of us,
Yeah.
I feel it, I see it. I mean, there's no way to detect it until I'm dead, but I would be lying to you if I would tell you I feel I didn't have it already, or small signs, slight signs of it. But it is what it is. It's the profession we chose, and yeah, I don't regret a damn thing.
Does it make you wanna retire sooner rather than later?
Yeah, for my family. But at the end of the day, I got bills. I got to feed them, and this is what I know how to do. On top of me tiling, being a full-time tiler, I'm gonna do this too. So I got 6 kids.
No, I understand that. Yeah.
No, but and at the end of the day, this is my love. This is my passion. Was my career, and this is what I do, and I still love it, and I'm going to do it. No one can tell me otherwise. And the day my wife tells me or my kids tell me to stop, I'll stop. Other than that, I'm going to do what I do. And, yeah.
Another thing that Lytle brought up in a conversation, he was talking about, I mean, he's much older than you, but he was making a point that just training for this is far less harsh and tough on the body as MMA training. Is that part of the appeal too? I mean, you're just not having to do the grappling training. You're not having to do some of the things. You just, is that part of why you like doing this? It's not as tough on the body to prepare.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, I feel great every day. I look forward to training every day. And I look forward to just sharpening my hands. And I'm sparring twice a week. I think last week was 3 times. Last week, one day with bare knuckles, but obviously headgear, face shield. Went good, you know. Just little bruising on the knuckles, but other than that, everything went good. Way easier, less. Less wear and tear. I want to say throughout the day in a training session, you know, and a lot of conditioning, a lot of shadow boxing, a lot of drilling, and basically the only impact I've been taking is sparring, and that's even that, because now we're sparring with no gloves. You get a little cautious, and you know it's different. You know, it's very different, but I like it.
Last question. I really appreciate the time you're giving me. Would you like to see bare knuckle fighting in Hawaii?
Of course, that's why I'm doing it right now, to try and get it over here. No, yeah, it's a sport, you know, and we're like it's a MMA was an offspring of, I guess, of boxing, and now this is the offspring off of MMA, bare knuckle. It's like something extreme to the extreme, you know, and people are starting to get into it. You know, it's 5 2-minute rounds. You know, you don't need to worry about get hit when you knock down. You know, there's a 10 count boxing rules. So, yeah.